Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Of course, my name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another LEGO set review. Today we're going to be taking a look at my second review for the Galaxy Squad setup, or brand, or idea, or collection, whatever it is that you want to call it. Now, of course, if you remember, I really enjoyed the first Galaxy Squad set that I took a look at. It was super duper fun. It was really ingeniously designed in terms of the mech suit and how it comes together and everything. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. And then when, once again, I had the opportunity to snag up another Galaxy Squad set, and I don't know why it is. Maybe these sets are not very popular or something, but for some reason they go on sale very often. So keep an eye on that whenever your local Toys R Us's, and especially also Walmart's. Make sure to check out Walmart's, because for some reason Walmart puts these sets on clearance, in my area at least, very often, and sometimes you'd be surprised just how cheap. Like like if I told you how cheap I got this set, you would probably told me, get me 3 please, because it was really an awesome deal. Nonetheless, of course, this is set number 70708, and this is the Hive Crawler set, which looks absolutely awesome, and it indeed is very awesome, and you'll see just why in a moment. You got a really awesome shot right here of all the goodies in action, of all the different goodies that you get in this package in action, which looks absolutely fantastic. You can see the Hive Commander up at the top there, looking like an absolute boss, or the Hive Leader, whatever you want. You got these little Hive eggs and such. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Of course, there's a 560 piece set, so it's quite a hefty little box. Like, if you can see, compared to the size of my hands, which are definitely not tiny, you can see that it's quite a large box indeed. And nonetheless, of course, once you put everything inside the box together, once again, I know that you guys are probably looking forward to me doing the little assembly video. This is another one of those sets that I put together on my own time and didn't get a chance to record assembling. It will be this set, and then one more set after this that I review, and then from that point on, all the LEGO sets going forward will be reviewed, just like the Minecraft set that I've reviewed, where I actually assemble and animate the little assembly parts, because I think that you guys really enjoy that. It takes a ton of time to do, but because you guys show the likes and the support for that, I will definitely do my best to record all my future LEGO reviews in that way. So, with that in mind, now that I've blabbered on for long enough, let's go ahead and remove the packaging, and as you can see, there's our assembled goodies and set. Well, not quite. There is also this tiny little thing. This thing's amazing, but we'll get to this in just a moment. First and foremost, let's take a look at all the cool minifigures that come with the set. Alrighty, so first up, we've got, of course, from the Galaxy Squad itself, and this is an alien, or maybe a robotic alien or something like that, but it's obviously not supposed to be, at least I don't think, a human life form, but nonetheless a member of the Galaxy Squad. Makes me kind of think of the Galaxy Squad almost like the Green Lanterns a little bit, doesn't it? So of course, as you can see, he's got this really cool kind of cadet-like outfit going on for his chest. You can see the emblem right there for the Galaxy Squad, a little bit of an indicator, I guess, for the red team there. I really like the head. I think it looks awesome. It's really unique. It looks like something out of, like, straight out of Mass Effect, if you've ever played that video game. He also comes with a jetpack, which is always fantastic. Definitely love seeing a jetpack, and I really love how this thing comes together. It's really simple. I now know how to make jetpacks for many of my other minifigures, so that is absolutely fantastic. So let's go ahead and move on to the next minifigure. Alrighty, so next up, the second, of course, Galaxy Squad pilot. As you can see, this guy is more of the main pilot, definitely a human-like character, but also shares some of the same characteristics, I should say, for the cadet-like outfit, so that's pretty neat indeed. He also comes with a pretty cool-looking blaster, which I always really love, and of course, if you'd like, you can always split this back up to a pistol and a binocular set, looking this way. Whoa, I can't, almost dropped it this way, so it could be a binocular set, which is pretty neat. I always like that element about this particular weapon. It's pretty cool for that same exact element. Now, of course, in the back, you can see kind of like an exosuit-like skeleton, which is pretty sweet as well, like kind of like the vertebrae and everything. That's pretty cool. I definitely like that quite a bit. The visor does not open on the helmet, so it has to stay closed, but the cool thing is that they even thought ahead. Like, for example, when you take the helmet off, you can go ahead and twist this face. Of course, you would want to not show the back piece there, but there's an actual I don't know, actually didn't come with a hairpiece, did it? I could have sworn there was a hairpiece. Did I lose it? I might have lost it. No, I don't think there was one, actually. I really don't think there was one. But nonetheless, of course, as you can see, the cool thing is that you can go ahead and have him without the helmet to kind of have like a breathing apparatus. And of course, if you want, you could go ahead and put on the helmet on top of that as well. So it's really up to you, whatever way you want to display him. Lots and lots of variety there, which is quite lovely indeed. But now I'm scratching my head about whether or not he did have a hairpiece. I don't remember now for some reason. Oh man! Oh, it was so long ago that I've built this set. I'm really sorry that I should have kept track of that. My apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, let's move on to the Hive. So next up, we've got the Hive Crawler pilot, who looks absolutely fantastic. This guy looks spooky and creepy and definitely very, very alien-esque in terms of his motif and everything. You can see this really cool, like bug-like elements going on his back print there, which is cool. Definitely like that quite a bit. I love his weapons. Those were really, really, really cool to assemble. They're like these kind of like double-sided axes, but definitely alien-like motifs to them, which is pretty neat. And of course, if you want, you could go ahead and always get creative with these. You can separate this out. You can get a little bit different. For example, you could have this type of a weapon, so it's more like a sword, or if you want to remove this completely, then it could be like a claw set. So it's just really cool in terms of the variety of options that you're given. Of course, this is the way that you're intended to have it displayed, but as always, Lego has no limits on imagination, so you can go ahead and display it however you seek. I really like the head sculpt here. It's really neat. It's actually done up as one rubber-like piece, so you can actually remove that to see that. As you can see right there, it's all made out of soft plastic, so that's kind of cool. And I definitely would not mind having a little army of these guys to take on, not even Galaxy Squad forces, but you could even have them against like your superhero sets and stuff like that, like have some sort of an alien-like invasion, which I think is quite a cool ordeal indeed. So, with all that in mind, of course, those are the 3 minifigures available in the set. Let's go on ahead and take a look at the 2 vehicles. And, yeah, let's see what kind of cool things we have remaining in the set. Alrighty, so first up, the vehicle that is, of course, given to the Galaxy Squad members. A very plain vehicle. Last time that we took a look at the Galaxy Squad set that we looked at, if you recall, the Galaxy Squad were the ones that got the most amount of love in terms of pieces. That was the main piece. This time, it's a little bit different. Of course, the Hive Crawler is the main vehicle here, but you do get still a pretty cool little vehicle here. I actually think that this is definitely kind of gives me Star Wars like vibes in terms of design and everything. Very sleek, very unique looking, definitely quite cool looking indeed. I really like this star line right here on the side. You can also see this little detail here, which I could also see being maybe a detail of like a blaster or something like that, or maybe a vent, you know, to ventilate out the heat. On the inside here, we have a blaster like motif going on with the blue like design, so that's pretty cool. I also like the separation here, so that's cool. Definitely, again, gives that Star Wars-like feel. Right up at the top here, you've got this engine-like look going on, which is cool. You got this little speed, I guess, controller, which technically, I guess, you should kind of have closer to the pilot, unlike what I did there. And then the back end here has these little wings, and also you will see these little spike-like designs hanging down below, which are actually the exact same pieces, if you remember, that we just saw on the alien character. Remember those red ones? But these are translucent blue, which is pretty cool indeed. You'll also notice these little heat vents in the back here, which is quite cool. And this little thing opens up so the cockpit can rise and go up and down, up to your discretion. And you can go ahead and get, of course, the pilot out, and then it will come down a little bit further. Now, of course, being a Galaxy Squad vehicle, at least one of the things that I've noticed so far with 2 sets is that usually they tend to have the Galaxy Squad vehicles be able to split up into 2 vehicles. And this definitely holds truth here, which is really cool. It's definitely not as cool as it was with the last set, where in the mech suit it was definitely quite different. Here it's a lot more of a smaller change from the vehicles, but it's still neat. So all you have to do is just give this little thing in the back here a tug, and then you end up with this thing for the main pilot, and then our little alien friend gets his own little thing to drive, which is pretty neat. So we can go ahead and grab his arms, place those on the little vehicle right here. Oh, whoops, or not. There we go. And he could go ahead and pilot this little thing. And of course, as you can see, he also gets some lasers and such, and some blasters. And if you want, of course, by the way, you can remove these little claws and give them to him so that he could have a little bit of weapons if once the Galaxy Squad lands and needs to fight the Hive Crawler on the ground, or maybe even the Hive themselves, they definitely have the an option, or the option, to do so. So, with all that in mind, of course, we've been building to this, but now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to take a look at the meat and potatoes of this review, so to speak, and that is, of course, the Hive Crawler itself. So without further ado, let's take a look at it. Whoop-bam-o! So this thing is huge, and I mean really huge. Like, look at this thing. It's insanely ginormous. Like, if I turn it on its side, you really realize how big this thing is. It's massive. Of course, a lot of that size is kind of not particularly substantial due to the fact that it comes from these skinny little legs and stuff. So I guess maybe if you didn't account for that, it wouldn't be quite as big of a vehicle, especially as big of a in terms of width. But I think that it's still awesome and quite huge indeed. It has lots and lots of cool play features. It truly is, so far, I have to be honest, the best Lego set that I've built, the best vehicle that I've ever built. It was so very fun to build, and the way that it all comes together is so intricate and so very cool, and the amount of cool play value that you're left with is absolutely astounding. So, first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and discuss the most obvious one, which is these crawly legs, which is absolutely terrifying. My mom absolutely hates these things because she's like, oh my god, get away from me. It's like a spider-like design. So I guess that's something that many people in your life might not particularly enjoy, so just keep that in mind. But it is cool, especially when you get it going really quickly. It looks quite spooky indeed, as you can see, and gives that kind of rackety noise as well. So that's quite cool indeed. So next up after that, of course, you've got the cockpit right here, and basically, as you can see, there's some really cool detail on the eyeballs here to create a bug-like design. If you haven't noticed, of course, it's supposed to look like a ginormous bug tank, I guess you would call it, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It kind of looks like something out of StarCraft or something like that, like, you know, one of those really cool, bizarre vehicle models that you could get. Now, right down here, we can see a mouth-like design with these pincers in the front, so you could go ahead and outfold these, and I guess maybe, for example, one of the Galaxy Squad members is flying through, this thing could go ahead and lock it down with its pincers, and then the Galaxy Squad members are certainly in quite a bit of trouble, and it's going to be quite difficult to get out of that trouble, especially when you're facing this ginormous thing. So it would certainly be quite difficult indeed. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift it up just to show you some of the really cool details up here. Now this is all done with sticker work, but it still looks fantastic. So this right up here, and then some little paneling work right here on these little pieces. All this is sticker work, but it looks absolutely terrific, and I think it comes together quite nicely indeed. You know that I don't like sticker work. I would prefer if it was printed on. I think that's a lot nicer. Like, I like it when it's like this, where it's a print on. It looks nicer. You know that it's going to be straight, and you don't have to worry about it. But at the same time, in this scenario, it wasn't too difficult because there wasn't a lot of stickers that are small, so I definitely did not have a lot of complaints in that regard, or in that side of things, so to speak. So additionally to that, the cockpit does of course open up. So the way that you can open it up is two ways. Basically, you can outfold the eyeballs, of course, which will reveal our pilot right there from the Hive, and then additionally to that, of course, you can go ahead and lower the head to reveal that as well. So the pilot does sit there very comfortably. It seems like a space for one, but we can go ahead and remove him for the time being, so we can take a look at the cockpit. There's a little bit of detail work in here as well, a couple buttons, and then also some sticker work to add to the panels on the side, and a really cool Hive-like logo right here in the back and right below the chair as well, which is a little difficult to see because of the chair obviously obscuring it. Now let's go ahead and place this back, because I really like the way that when you don't have the pilot, you can actually close these a little bit tighter, because you're not worried about smashing them on the pilot, of course. So you can lock them down tighter, which then makes it look like more of a robotic unit. So it really is up to you if you want to have a pilot or not. It's just, in my opinion, it looks cooler when it's tighter like up, because then it looks more like an actual bug-like head, at least in my personal opinion. So with that in mind, of course, right up here then, the next form of artillery is these two dual cannons on the back, which you can go ahead and lift up. But then look at that, how cool is that? So it rotates on a ball joint within this little cup, which was so cool. It was such a fun little thing to build. So you can go ahead and literally point down towards, up or down towards any Galaxy Squad fighters and take them down with these blasters, and this will definitely be a big troublesome weapon to deal with for the Galaxy fighters. So this is certainly something that they need to be concerned with, because this is an absolutely ginormous headache to deal with. But as if all that wasn't enough, you might have noticed that it's got this big butt, this big bug butt in the back here, and this thing is awesome. It's so very fun. You might have seen me actually drop these, and these are tiny little eggs, and basically what you do is you built this little spring mechanism into here, so that when you lower this, one of the eggs will slide into position, and then when you let go, it will fling it, and the idea is that it would snap open, and they really do snap open. When they hit hard on the floor, they'll snap open. So let me try to get one of these to maybe break open here. I'm not sure if I'll be, there we go, boom. So once you do that, you get this cool, awesome little hive bug that tries to take down the Galaxy Squad as well. Look at that thing. That thing looks absolutely terrific. You've got some wings right up top here. Really, really cool details. It's made out of this like soft like rubber, which is awesome. And then you add this little spikes in the wings to it. So that looks really neat. I definitely like this thing quite a bit. And of course, if you want, you could go ahead and improvise a little bit if you'd like in certain ways. Like for example, you could go ahead and put the wings up front here to make it look different. However, if you do that, it's not going to fit in the egg any longer. So it's just really cool to have these tiny little egg bombs to release onto your enemies as well. And you could go ahead and load up the alien again over and over again. So if you're doing a stop motion or just having plain fun and playing around with this set, you could have a ton of fun just with that element itself. And the way that it looks from the side is like so. So basically the egg is there, and then as you pull, why is it stuck? There we go. As you pull this down, the egg slides into position. Ideally, you want to slide it down like this, right? And then when you let go, the force of the spring will just launch it forwards, catapulting it, landing down, smashing open, and then, of course, causing lots and lots of trouble for the Galaxy Squad. Now, in terms of under armor display, as you can see, there are a couple of wheels right here, or as you can see, evidently, because I did not zoom out enough. So as you can see right down here, we've got these wheels which really control the entire arm mechanism. So these two wheels are really responsible for that. And then we also have these backup 4 wheels that really try to support the unit in terms of being able to roll steadily and really be able to accomplish what it's trying to do. So with that in mind, as I said before, this thing was absolutely amazingly fun to build. It's super fun to build and super duper fun to play with. I really love just displaying this thing, you know what I mean? Like having, like, for example, the cannons firing away and then the Galaxy Squad trying to get close and trying to take this thing down. It definitely causes quite a lot of chaos, and this thing is massive, so it definitely would be fun to use for stop motions and just mess around with all of your Galaxy Squad sets. Or even, as I said before, if you have enough of these Hive Warriors, you could even have like a little alien invasion against, let's say, your Superman figure or even your Justice League set. Whatever it is, you could definitely have a ton of fun with these Hive sets. I think they're absolutely awesome. I really, really wish that I would have picked up a couple of these because it would be awesome to have 2 tanks, especially, again, as I said, this set was on clearance, so they had 4 of them for a ridiculously cheap price, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to take one, and then hopefully some other 3 people that will really enjoy this will get this. So I left that there, but I kind of am kicking myself in the behind for that because I really wish that I would have picked up at least one more because it's just such a fun set, and I definitely recommend it. I don't know what the full retail price on this. I would imagine that it's probably in the $70 to $90 range. That's kind of my ballpark guess. Maybe it's more than that, maybe it's less than that. But if you can get it, I would say under like $60, it's definitely worthwhile because this thing is well worth it on its own, but then you get 3 awesome minifigures, another cool Galaxy Squad vehicle that splits into 2 things, which is really, really sweet. But this thing is just awesome. It's so much fun to play with, and I really, really enjoyed assembling it, and I cannot wait to mess around with it that much more. With that in mind, of course, thank you so very much for watching another LEGO set review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. That really does help me out a ton. And of course, as always, guys, I will indeed catch you guys next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Thanks all for watching, guys. Have a fantastic day.